Hello, dear students of class 11. Very pleasant good morning to you all. How are you doing? Good. Dear students, today we are in our English literature class, and today I will be teaching you story number 4, Hearts and Hands. It is written by O. Henry. And today we will be discussing the pages, the total story, in fact, pages from 68 to 72. It's a very brief short story, so that you have to understand, we can have it in one class. And the characters present in this story are our Mr. Eastern. Mr. Eastern, not Eastern curry powder, okay. Or then second one, Miss Fairchild and Mr. Marshall, or the glum-faced man, serious-looking man. Only 3 characters. Then some passengers are also there. Some passengers are also present there. Those are the things. Now, let me take your attention to the author O. Henry. Who is or who was this author? William Sidney Porter, that was full name of the author O. Henry, was an American writer who wrote under the pen name O. Henry, under the name O. Henry. His short stories are well known for their ready wit, gentle humor and surprise ending. O. Henry's stories specialize with ready wit, sudden fun, then gentle humor, soft, nice humor and surprise ending. His story, Hearts and Hands, describes the chance encounter on a train between 2 acquaintances, friends, Miss Fairchild and Mr. Eastern. The situation turns awkward when Miss Fairchild notices that Eastern is handcuffed to a grim-looking man. The man intervenes to save Eastern from embarrassment and prevent the girl from discovering the truth about him. It is only through the observations of their fellow passengers that the reader is made aware of the real nature of the relationship between the 2 men handcuffed to each other. Dear students, the story, the location of the story, that is in a moving train, inside a moving train. The total story takes place. So, tomorrow I will be sending you the detailed story of this one in the next video, in my next class that I will be sending. So it's a very interesting, very funny, surprise-ending story, and let us begin this story. Have the pencil also with you as you watch the video. Please have a pencil with you so that you can write down the meaning of the difficult words then and there itself. Okay. Page number 69. At Denver is the railway station. At Denver, there was an influx of passengers into the coaches on the eastbound B and M Express, eastbound train. Denver railway station, and so many people are pushing and pulling to get inside the train. Influx of passengers, flow of passengers to enter the train, and the train name is B and M Express. In one coach there sat a very pretty young woman. Yes, in one of the coaches there sat one pretty young woman dressed in elegant style, extremely beautiful style, elegant style, and surrounded by all the luxuries, comforts of an experienced traveler. She was behaving, acting, dressing, everything looked very luxurious life. Yes. One dress in elegant style, you got the meaning, extremely beautiful style, and surrounded by means around her. Altogether, her appearance was surrounded by the luxurious comforts of an experienced traveler. Among the newcomers were two young men. Among the newcomers, as some passengers came, among the newcomers were two young men, one of handsome presence with a bold, frank countenance. Countenance means appearance and manner. One was just see one person's character, one handsome presence with a bold, frank countenance and manner, and the other a ruffled, glum-faced man, disliking, ruffled, disliking, glum-faced, serious-looking man, heavily built and roughly dressed. He is heavily built and heavily built, well-bodied and roughly, carelessly dressed. The two were handcuffed together. Handcuffed together means hatkadi lagana. Hatkadi, see, hatkadi lag gaya. See, मेरा watch से hatkadi बनाया. See, hatkadi lagana. So that is called handcuff. Put the chain, especially when police inspectors arrest the criminal. क्या पहनाता है? That is called handcuff. Hatkadi. Yes. As they passed down the aisle of each, the only vacant seat offered was a reversed one facing the attractive young woman. So in the train, there was only one particular seat that was available. Yes, that was facing the woman. Let us see. As they passed down the aisle, A-I-S-L-E, I don't know whether you understand the meaning. Aisle means the middle path, the passage of the train. The little veranda, you see the veranda of the railway. See the passengers travel. This is called aisle or aisle. It is called aisle, not aisle. Okay, aisle of the, that is path of the coach. The only vacant seat for these two men were offered was a reverse one facing the attractive young woman. Here the linked couples seated themselves. Linked couples means the young, handsome looking man and glum-faced man. Yes, they together. That is called linked couples. Connected by hatkadi, yes. The young woman's glance means look, fell upon them with a distant, clearly, swift disinterest. Clearly, suddenly, the look of the woman fell on these people. Then, with a lovely smile brightening her countenance, appearance, and a tender pink tinging her rounded cheeks, she held out a little grey-gloved hand. Her hands were gloves. Yes, gloved hand. She extended her hand. And when she spoke, her voice, full, sweet, and deliberate, proclaimed that its owner was accustomed to speak and be heard. She had the habit of just speaking and to be heard. Yes, that was her style. When she spoke, her voice, she spoke something full, sweet, and deliberate. Purposely say, proclaimed that everything announced her behavior and proclaimed that its owner was accustomed to speak and be heard. Well, Mr. Easton, if you will make me speak first, I suppose I must. Okay, if you permit me, I will speak. First, I will speak. Okay, let me speak first. Don't you ever recognize old friends when you meet them in the West? Don't you ever recognize your old friends when you meet them in the west part of the country, America? The younger man roused himself sharply. The younger man of the two raised himself sharply at the sound of her voice seemed to struggle with a slight embarrassment. He was struggle with a slight embarrassment, confusion, what to know, pakda gaya, yes, which he threw off instantly. Suddenly he removed that embarrassment and then clasped her fingers with his left hand, pakadna. Yes, clasped her fingers, yes, with embarrassment, and then clasped catch her fingers with his left hand. It's Miss Fairchild, he said with a smile. He said with a smile. This man, Mr. Easton, had said with a smile. I will ask you to excuse the other hand. I will ask you for माफ कीजिए. हम आपको दाएं हाथ से बाएं हाथ से मिला रहा. With I am just greeting you with my left hand. I am sorry for this one. Yes, I will ask you to excuse the other hand. Is otherwise engaged just at present. It is busy. The other hand. अदर हैंड को क्या हुआ गया? हथकड़ी लगाए हुआ है. Handcuff. It is worn by handcuff. It is connected to the other person. Yes. It is otherwise engaged just at present. I am sorry for shaking hand with you with my left hand. The handsome looking man said. He slightly raised his right hand, bound at the wrist by the shining bracelet. What is the shining bracelet here? Called the steel material, that is handcuff. To the left one of his companion. The glad look in her eyes, in the girl's eyes, slowly changed to a bewildered horror. The happy appearance of the girl's face suddenly changed into horror, bewildered, then confusing, bewilderness, confusing. Yes, the happiness. She was very much happy to see the young man, and all of a sudden her happiness changed into bewilderness, confusion. All the glum, the brightness of her face has disappeared because of seeing the handcuff on her friend's hands. The glow faded from her cheeks. Glow means the brightness. Her lips parted, got separated like this. Yes, in a vague, relaxing distress. She could not understand. Easton, with a little laugh, as if amused, was about to speak again when the other forestalled him. Forestall means to prevent it. Mr. Easton, the handsome man's name was Mr. Easton, and he was about to speak. At that moment, the other man stopped him. From talking, prevented him from talking. The glum-faced man, serious-looking, angry-looking faced man had been watching the girl's countenance, watching the appearance of the girl, facial expression of the girl, with veiled glances. Veiled. तिरछी नजरों से देखना. Yes, that one. तिरछी नजरों से देखना. Yes. Veiled glances from his keen, shrewd eyes, serious eyes. You will excuse me for speaking, miss. Excuse me for speaking, but I see you are acquainted with the marshal here. I know you are acquainted. You are familiar with this. Acquainted means familiar with this marshal here. Marshal, what is the title given? Marshal, yes. If you will ask him to speak a word for me, when we get to the pen, he will do it. When we get to the pen, if you ask him to speak something about me, he will do it. And it will make things easier for me there. He is taking me to Leavenworth prison. Mr. Easton is taking me to Leavenworth prison. Very important. This passage is very important. Leavenworth prison. It is 7 years for counterfeiting. Counterfeiting means चीटिंग, मनी चीटिंग, यस, और पैसा चोरी करना। पैसा चोरी करने के मामले में मुझे ये मार्शल कहाँ ले जा रहा है? He is taking me to Leavenworth prison. Who told? The glum-faced man, to whom? To Miss Fairchild. Oh, said the girl with a deep breath and returning color. Oh, now she is relaxed. Now she knew that his friend is not the criminal. So she told, see, oh, said the girl with a deep breath and returning color. The brightness of her faded face came back. So that is what you are doing out here, oh marshal. Okay, okay, you are doing the job of a marshal here in West. All right. My dear Miss Fairchild, said Easton calmly, very calmly, normally say, I had to do something, see, I had to do something. Money has a way of taking wings unto itself. Money has a way of taking people to different parts. Yes, Udna, yes, taking wings unto itself. And it takes money to keep step with our crowd in Washington. And money is very essential to keep in touch with our crowd in Washington. Money is very essential. Yes. I saw this opening in the West. Yes, I saw an opportunity of becoming a marshal in West. And well, a marshalship isn't quite as high a position as that of an ambassador. Well, a job of a police inspector is not as equal to the job of an ambassador, Rajdut, an ambassador, representative of one country living in another country for various business deals. Yes. So that is called ambassador, Rajdut. Rajdut, that is called ambassador. But see, I saw an opportunity in the West, so I had to do something, Who is saying? Mr. Easton is saying to Miss Fairchild. The ambassador, said the girl warmly, doesn't call anymore. He needn't ever have done so. You ought to know that. And so now you are one of these dashing Western heroes. Okay, now you are one of these dashing Western heroes. Of course, marshals' jobs are to go after criminals, rascals, and catch them and put them in prison. Yes. And so our Miss Fairchild thought, or Mr. Easton is running behind the criminals, culprits, to catch them and send them to jail. And so now you are one of these dashing Western heroes, and you ride and shoot and go into all kinds of dangers. Okay, you ride and you shoot and run into all kinds of dangers. That is different from the Washington life. Of course, that is different from the Washington life. You have been missed from the old crowd. You have been really missed from the old crowd. That is his friends. Who said? Miss Fairchild. The girl's eyes fascinated. She was surprised, went back, widening a little to rest upon the glittering handcuffs. Again, she surprisingly noticed the handcuff on the wrist of Mr. Easton and the other man. Don't you worry about the miss. Please don't worry about said the other man. Again, the serious looking man, glum-faced man told, don't worry about that handcuff, miss. All marshals handcuff themselves to their prisoners to keep them from getting away. All marshals do the handcuffing with the criminals so that they may not run away. Bhag na jaye. All marshals handcuff themselves to their prisoners to keep them from getting away. Getting away means to from running away. Mr. Easton knows his business. Mr. Easton knows his business. What is his job? Will we see you again soon in Washington? Again, Miss Fairchild asked. Will we see you again? Shall we see again in Washington so soon? Asked the girl. Not soon, I think, said Easton. Not soon. So, not soon. We are not going to see. My butterfly days are over. Butterfly days, free days, happy days. That is over, you know. Butterflies move from flowers to flowers very freely. So Mr. Easton feels that he cannot immediately go to Washington because of his work, because of his business. I love the bus, said the girl irrelevantly, without giving much attention. Relevant and irrelevantly, without having much meaning, she told, I love the bus. Her eyes were shining softly. Her eyes were shining softly. She looked away out the car window. Out the car window means out of the coach. Train coach. See, this train is moving from Denver, yes, to Leavenworth, that side. Away out the car window. She began to speak truly and simply without gloss of style and manner. Now, without any style and manner, she started speaking. Yes, Mama and I spent the summer in Denver. Yes, both Mama and me spent our summer in Denver. She went home a week ago because father was slightly ill. Mama went back a week ago home because father was ill. I was slightly ill. I could live and be happy in the West. I could live and be happy here in the West. I think the air here agrees with me. The climate, the air here agrees with me means the climate condition, the situation, altogether the situation is very fine with me here. Money isn't everything. Money is not everything, you know. Some people consider only money as everything, yes. But people always misunderstand things and remain stupid. Some people always think money is everything, and people try to accumulate as much money as possible. Money is not everything. We need money for use, for our comfortable life. That is all right. Other than that, what is the use of this money? When you die, all your savings will go to somebody else. It will be enjoyed by somebody else, isn't it? And you do not know who is going to use that one. Yes. So money is not everything. We need money, that is all. Say, Mr. Marshall, growled the glum-faced man. Say, Mr. Marshall. Now, girl was speaking and growling. Yes, Mr. Marshall, growled the glum-faced man. This isn't quite fair. This is not a good thing. I am needing a drink and haven't had a smoke all day. I need something to drink and smoke. Throughout the day, I did not eat and drink anything. I need something. Haven't you talked long enough? If you have completed, haven't you talked enough? If you have talked long enough, take me in the smoker now. Please take me to the smoker. Smoker now means smoking area in the compartment. In Western countries and so on, Western area, Western trains, bus and so on, you cannot go to anywhere as you find in our India. Anywhere you can smoke anywhere. You cannot do that one. Designated particular place is there. So in the train also smoker car is there, where you will get smoke, drink and so on. Haven't you talked long enough? Take me in the smoker now, won't you? I am half dead for a pipe. I am urgently in need of a pipe. Pipe here means the smoke. Hookah, yes. The bound travelers rose to their feet. Who are these bound travelers? Mr. Easton and the glum-faced man or Marshall. Easton with the same slow smile on his face, slowly smiling. I can't deny the petition for a tobacco, you know. I can't deny the petition request for a tobacco, for a smoke. He said lightly. It is the one friend of the unfortunate. It's one friend of the unfortunate. Means one of the friends. When people don't have anybody, sometimes they go for bad company, smoking, drinking, such type of things. Yes. It is the one friend of the unfortunate. Goodbye, Miss Fairchild. Duty calls, as so an requirement of the duty. Yes, I have to go. I'm sorry. He held out his hand for a farewell. He held out his hand for a farewell. Goodbye. It is too bad you are not going east. It is too bad you are not going to east, she said, reclothing herself, rearranging her clothes herself with manner and style. But you must go on to Leavenworth, I suppose. Oh, I suppose you must go on to Leavenworth, I suppose. Yes, said Mr. Easton, I must go on to Leavenworth. I must go to Leavenworth prison. The two men sidled down the aisle into the smokers. Slowly, both the people, Mr. Easton and the glum-faced man, moved to the smoker. Yes. The two passengers in a seat nearby, in a seat nearby had heard most of the conversation. So, other passengers were listening the conversations of both the passengers here. Said one of them, that Marshall is a good sort of chap. That Marshall is a good person, good kind person. Some of these Western fellows are all right. Some of these Western fellows are all right. That Marshall is a good person and some of these Western fellows are really good. Pretty young to hold an office like that, isn't it? Pretty young. He is quite young to hold such an office, isn't it? Asked the other. One said, some of these Western fellows are really nice and he is so young to get such an office, said the other one. Young? Exclaimed the first speaker. Why? Oh, didn't you catch on? Oh, why you didn't catch on? You did not understand. Say, did you ever know an officer to handcuff a prisoner to his right hand? Have you ever known or heard that? You ever know that an officer handcuff a prisoner to his right hand? Have you ever seen an officer handcuffing his right hand with the left hand of a prisoner? No. That is the surprise. Now you will understand that Mr. Easton was the criminal and the glum-faced man was the real police officer or the marshal. Thus, Mr. Easton was being taken to Leavenworth prison for counterfeiting by the glum-faced man. So, in reality, the glum-faced man was the real marshal and Mr. Easton was the criminal, robber. Yes, we can say. So, if the right hand of a police officer is handcuffed with the left hand of a prisoner, who will have the advantage? The prisoner will have the advantage, because see, you are standing in the seat, your left hand police officer, then it is difficult. So police officer, this is my right hand, and my left hand, this is handcuffed with the hand of another one. See, another one I am handcuffed here, this one. Then the police officer can easily pull out his pistol and shoot, isn't it? Yes, he can shoot. Or in the other way, the criminal will have the advantage. Yes, dear students, that is a surprise ending of the story written by O. Henry. Alright. Thus, finally, at last, you come to know that who is the real prisoner and who is the real marshal. Yes. We begin our story today, story number 4, from page number 68 to 72. That's a very short story. written, or Hearts and Hands written by O. Henry. Alright, characters present in this story are Mr. Easton, Miss Fairchild, Mr. Marshall, and 2-3 passengers. Where the location? At Denver railway station in America, and the name of the train is B and M W. Yes, B and M Express. B and M Express. The thing happened there. All right. So now in the train, passengers come inside. Then there was a beautiful lady, and these two handcuffed prisoners, they were sitting right in front of this beautiful lady and have the conversation to save the criminal from embarrassment in front of his friend, Mr. Marshall. The real Mr. Marshall takes the responsibility, telling that he is the criminal and the other one is the sheriff or the police marshal, and taking to Leavenworth prison. So dear students, please read and understand the story by yourself. All the details are given in your workbook. Tomorrow I will be sending you the note, another video, and you have to watch that one. The total summary, everything is given there, and after that I will be dictating the answers of few extracts given in the workbook. All right, until then, bye, take care, thank you.